Testing. Check 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Check 1.
Yeah. You got enough of that? Sounds
Check
good.
1. Check 2.
Yeah, let's see. I've been in music ministry for 20 years, 20 plus years. And I do a lot of worship leading across the country. Sounds a little odd, I do women's conferences, where I lead in women's conferences. And then I do marriage conferences, and I do men's conferences. But I spend a lot of my time in the smaller churches leading worship, like in Sunday morning services and doing concerts, like maybe on a Sunday night. Just kind of enjoying the church and being able to go there and minister to them and serve them. It's been my heart for many, many years. After I left New Song, I was the lead singer of New Song for about 7 years and left them so I could be home more. We were just gone a lot, and my kids needed me home. My wife needed me. We have 4 kids. And so that kind of has taken me on this journey of doing solo music again, but a little bit different than what I used to do. I used to write from the outside in, kind of see what's going on out there and then try to cop it. And now I kind of write from the inside out. A lot of times worship pastors will have me come in and maybe they'll take the weekend off, and they just kind of want to have somebody that they know can probably lead. And I lead with their teams. So I'll usually go in, practice with their teams, and which is another way to serve them, and also incorporate and try to mentor some of these younger musicians that are coming up, and try to model what I've learned over the years of what it means to truly be a worship leader. But I have a great respect, and I go to big churches, but mostly I do small churches. My son would attest. He travels with me, and we'll sing to sometimes 30, 40 people, sometimes a couple of hundred. And then I do these big conferences, which is so great and fun, but the reality is my heart is back at the church. I've always wanted to write songs and be a part of building up the body of Christ through music, and that's what a music minister actually does. And so it's a great privilege to serve them in that capacity, so I love it. So the Total Romance is a date night for couples. Okay, so it's one of those situations. Sometimes my wife gets to come, and we do it over 2 days, which would be a Friday night and a Saturday morning. The Friday night is more of the, hey, let's reminisce about when we first met, and when you first fell in love. And I have all these romantic songs that kind of like Nat King Cole meets Norah Jones. It's kind of old. It sounds classic, but they're all new songs about my wife. And I wrote those songs right after I left New Song to honor our marriage, because we almost divorced back in 2001 when I was with New Song. And God had to do a really incredible work in both of us, mostly me, to truly be able to love my wife like Christ loved the church. So that's why I left New Song, so I could be home more. And then Saturday morning, sometimes when my wife can come, but we still have a couple of kids at home, so she doesn't like to travel too much. We do what we call the breaking out in seminars, and she'll teach the women about the beauty of submission. I talk about purity and spiritual leadership. And then we also come together and share our story. The Billy Graham Association did our story some years back, and like I said, right when I got out of New Song, and they put it on national television. So we kind of use a clip there to kind of show people where we came from. And it's an incredible time. We really love it. Marriage enrichment to me is completely overlooked. And we have a lot of divorce care in the church, which I know we need. But it'd be so amazing if we had more marriage enrichment to keep that romance alive, and truly know what it really means to, as men, love our wives, and as women, to respect our husbands. And so we've been doing it about 7 years, and we do about 10 to 12 a year. We'd love to do about 20, So anybody out there who wants to host it, you can go to my website. It's at michaelo.org, and there's a little link that kind of shows you what we do. We have a video, and so my wife typically every morning gets up about 5:30 to be in the Word for about an hour. I get up about 6, about 30 minutes later. So we're kind of apart. But this particular morning, she's by herself, and she was reading the Word, but she fights with depression from time to time, and she would tell you that. They've even labeled her bipolar and manic depressive and all these labels on her, but she's doing a lot better. But she still has bouts with it every once in a while. So anyway, she was in the Word. I guess what her reading wasn't really working for her that day, and so typically a lot of times she opens up the hymnal and she'll just read the theology, the rich theology that's in the hymns. And she came across, there's a fountain, and just that darkness lifted. I mean, I really felt like the Lord, she said, it just gave, the peace of God came over her, and she got so excited that she ran to church. Our pastor was in there, and she just had to tell somebody I wasn't in town. And I didn't know this story. She had told me this later, but she had taken these hymns that she loved and put like little stars by them and said, you should look at these and maybe rewrite them, you know? And so I took There's a Fountain one day and just rewrote it. And then I went to church that night, Wednesday night, and I sang it at my church. And I got a really great response from it. And then that next Sunday, I actually sang it again, but I had added a chorus that wasn't on it on the Wednesday, because my son said, it's missing something. This is my son, the songwriter. And so I added the chorus, and then I went back that Sunday, and they loved it so much that they wanted to incorporate it in the actual services. So I gave them all the chord charts and stuff, and from time to time they do that song. And one day I was there when they were doing it, I was so touched by that, the fact that they would even use it. The message of it, and hearing my church sing it all together corporately, it just kind of inspired the rest of the project. I'm like, I need to do more of these. And so I just began to take some of those other stars that she had put by some of these songs that really ministered to me, because there were she had like 25 or 30 of them. So I couldn't do that many. But I picked probably about 6 or 7 that she had marked that I really connected with, and just started rewriting.
There is a fountain to cleanse our guilt and shame. There is a fountain to wash our